Tonight, in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinox Television, faithful supporters of the UPC political party question the measures put in place by the government to combat rising insecurity in the country. And also in this newscast, two political parties of the opposition in Cameroon go on hunger strike, denouncing the increase in the prices of petroleum products in Cameroon, plus the coronation ceremony of one of the youngest chiefs that we have in Cameroon in this newscast. These are headlines, details in a moment. We begin this edition of the news in politics. Supporters of the faithful factions of the UPC party have so far denounced the measure put in place by the government, increasing the prices of petroleum products in Cameroon. Speaking at a press conference here in the economic capital Douala, the militants also told our reporters that they would not relent their efforts at ensuring that the government reverses its decision as far as the increase in the prices of petroleum products is concerned. And it was also a forum for them to discuss on other issues plaguing the country, such as rising insecurity. The ZNDMO took part in that press conference, and now the reports.
At the press conference in Douala, grouping militants of the UPC party, top on the agenda was rising insecurity around Cameroon's borders, with frequent attacks from Boko Haram militants in the north and Seleka rebels in the east of the country. These UPC militants blame the rising phenomenon on poverty and unemployment, which have pushed many youths to join the terrorist organizations. They equally hold that the proliferation of churches in the country, poor governance and the inadequate deployment of soldiers and equipment to affected areas are reasons why these attacks persist. Aside from insecurity concerns, the UPC militants also gave their opinion on the recent increase in the prices of petroleum products in Cameroon. They say the decision by government is unjust and unacceptable. To this effect, they hope to use whatever measure necessary to contest the decision.
We have made many declarations. We have done things such as this to say no. We have put it in many cars to let people be aware of this protestation. We say no. We do it everywhere we are, in our family, with our friends, everywhere. We have to share our action with other associations.
To the UPC, uplifting fuel subsidies by government is given in to dictates of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. They feel that these would have been avoided if the national oil refinery, Sonara, takes the production and refining of petroleum products. Affirming that they will support any campaign against the fuel increment, some militants of the party dressed in blacks to respect a call for a Black Thursday by civil society activists.
And it is not only the UPC party reacting as far as the increase in the prices of petroleum products is concerned. The PUS and also the Modegna political parties, those are opposition parties in Cameroon, have embarked on a hunger strike, as we announced in the headlines, denouncing the recent increase on fuel prices and Cameroon's engagement with the European Union on the Economic Partnership Agreement. The hunger strike ongoing at Carrefour Ajib in Douala, according to the party officials, is indefinite until the government reverses its decision. They have been on hunger strike for over 1 day now. They are here in the economic capital Douala at Carrefour Ajib, as I earlier indicated. Now, as insecurity continues to reign in the far north region of Cameroon and other parts of the country, religious leaders have said no to the activities perpetrated by terrorists. Bishops, reverend fathers, imams, administrative, as well as traditional authorities gathered at the explanade of the Nkonsamba, that is in the Mongo division, for a peaceful mass to pray for the country. And the people were told to say no to injustice and oppression and all actions that could jeopardize the stability that Cameroon enjoys. And insecurity is on the rise at the Citevet neighborhood, that's a locality in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, with residents testifying that they are being harassed even on broad daylight. The phenomenon, as Roland Akong tells us in the following report, is being blamed on the absence of street lights. His report.
There is a growing demand for safety and security in the Citevet neighborhood in Yaoundé. Insecurity, we learned, has reached its apogee in Citevet, with men of the underworld striking terror into the hearts of inhabitants.
Il y a vraiment trop d'agression.
An inhabitant tells me, with machetes and other light weapons, the men of the underworld surrender women, especially local traders, going to the market between 4 and 5 a.m.
Le malfaiteur qui attrape les femmes à 5 heures le matin, 4 heures, prendre les sacs qui s'en vont au marché.
Another resident adds that she was assaulted at the weekend as she returned home from a house party.
J'ai été agressée samedi soir lorsque je rentrais d'un anniversaire chez une amie.
The rising insecurity in Citevet is blamed on poor lighting in the neighborhood. That the men of the underworld hide on treetops and other dark corners before carrying out their criminal acts.
Sur le manguier, et comme il n'y a pas beaucoup de lampadaires, une grande luminosité.
Vigilante groups have been set up in some corners of the neighborhood, but the move, inhabitants say, is not enough to deter men of the underworld from carrying out their criminal activities.
Now, calm is still to return within members of the Social Democratic Front Party in Konsamba 1. We are back in the Mongo division of Cameroon after the councillors could not come to terms on who to be re-elected mayor of that municipality. Tension was reported during the election of who to replace Joseph Takam at the helm of the council following his death some months ago. Two opposing camps rose, contesting the candidates of one another, and it is after the departure of an opposing side that Mbu Pierre was re-elected or elected to pilot the activities of the Nkonsamba 1 Council. A bureau of 25 members was also put in place. Now, just a tentative calm now reigns in the Konsamba 1 municipality. We take you back to the nation's capital to talk about lack of communication and good market that have so far been cited as some of the major problems plaguing the film industry in the country. The observation was made today during an ongoing film festival in that part of Cameroon. Roland Akong, however, tells us in the following report that the sector has a promising future. His report.
Movie started in Cameroon before many African countries, including Nigeria. Alena Menget, an actor and filmmaker, confirms.
We had done Trial of Passions, Puss Puss, and a couple of other films. Things Fall Apart was there first. The fact is that they exploded on TV better than us, or faster than us.
But while the film industry is struggling to rise in Cameroon, it is already booming in Nigeria and some African countries.
The fact is just that they have a population that's willing to buy things, and they have a mentality that's willing to grow. So that's the only reason that they could be better off than us. And they have MultiChoice on their support. MultiChoice is an organization that is supporting Commonwealth countries that speak English. Cameroon is not part of MultiChoice. That's one of the biggest pushback for Cameroon arts. I'm talking music, I'm talking movie.
Among other setbacks, the Cameroonian media, it is said, is not encouraging the Cameroonian film industry.
We have movies. There are very many beautiful movies. How do we showcase the movies? How do we make the people in the houses know that these movies are there? It's through TV. And once any owner of television sees you coming with a movie, he has a big bill to give you. He thinks there is money there, but you and I know that. We have a lot of more ambience here than cash.
There is also a problem with the market.
We're not yet stable with the market. Cameroonian films that have been shot with faces of Nigerian actors do sell well in Nigeria because the faces are already there. Or would you believe that the Njara team was here and the 53 extra team was here during this occasion of Ekran Noir? They came to look for faces that have been passing through African Magic, which means that those Cameroonians are stars in Nigeria. They are stars in Kenya. In my hood in Douala, they call me a Nigerian because they believe that it's a Nigerian that will do a movie in English. So the day we start recognizing our own talents and investing in them and letting people know that, oh, these people are people within us and they can do this thing, and we give them the maximum respect of how a star is treated, you build the faces. Cameroon needs only 5 faces. 2 girls, maybe 4 boys who are stars, and this thing will stand.
Looking beyond the problems of the movie industry in Cameroon is Dixon Mangege, a film promoter.
The guys are improving. If you look at far back behind when they were doing films today are more different than the ones that they did last time, because we are copying from the neighbors, and this is very perfect. It's more even perfect than films from Nigeria, because we have a lot of stories. Cameroon has very rich culture. So people just need to come in and invest in that domain, because it's a very good sector.
He believes so much about the future of the Cameroonian film industry.
In the next 3 years, Cameroon industry will be on top. Other industries will copy from us, because the boys are prepared to work. Whether without sponsors, they are ready to work.
The problems plaguing the Cameroon film industry there, compiled by Roland Akong. Now, one of the youngest chiefs in Cameroon has been coronated. 13-year-old Fortu Claude de Balwa took over command as the chief of the Balwa Bamboo village that was at the weekend amidst calls by the senior divisional officer Fonde for peace to reign in the area. He equally warned village elders not to mislead the young chief. For Hansin Chanji tells us more.
Here comes the young chief. Fete Claude de Balwa is a new ruler of Balwa Bamboo community, found in Tonga subdivision of the Ndé division, West region of Cameroon. The coronation of the 13-year-old puts an end to chieftaincy tussle after the death of his father, the late Chief Fefe Zwek, in 2012. Fete Claude de Balwa, before becoming chief Saturday, had spent 5 weeks in the traditional hut called the Lakam, where his brother, who reportedly took bar by force, spent 1 week before being chased away. The death of the former chief almost divided the Balwa Bamboo village into 2 factions. Fete Claude de Balwa is said to be the choice of his late father on his dying bed, and the population vowed that his wish is going to be their command. As the young paramount ruler takes charge of the Balwa Bamboo community, putting an end to the vacancy that existed 2 years ago, calm and peace is expected to return to the village that became the center of attraction for the past 2 years. On behalf of the administration, the senior divisional officer for the Ndé division, Ernest Ebele, warned village elders not to step into the toes of the new chief. He urged them to only guide him and not misguide him. The coronation ceremony was organized alongside a requiem mass in remembrance of the late chief, Fefe Zwek, who died 2 years ago. Fete Claude de Balwa may be young, too young, but has the destiny of the village, the Balwa Bamboo village, in his hands. He has the staff, he has the command button of the Balwa Bamboo village. He has the entire community to rule, to make decisions, and not just decisions, but the right ones. Long live the young king.
The coronation ceremony of the youngest chiefs that we have in Cameroon. They're bringing us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. So thank you so much for your keen attention. Until we meet again, goodbye.